Well, the question is, have you ever felt a little bit insane?
Well, I did not, but maybe this game is going to make me insane. This game is called
Insound Mind.
And it is a psychological horror as well as adventure, puzzler, and why not? First-person shooter, a little bit.
And a little bit of platforming also.
With RPG elements. So,
Something-
this sounds crazy.
Something for everyone, right? The question is it any good putting all those different things together? So the story is that you are a therapist or psychologist, and the insanity of your patients has kind of gotten to you. Like something is going on so that you are kind of suffering what some of your patients are suffering, and one by one you have to go deep into the minds of your patients. And there are 5 of them in total, so there's 5 different worlds in this game. And you have to basically figure out what is making them so haunted, so disturbed, and try to fix it. And in the course of fixing them, like actually heal your mind as well. But you don't ever really know if you're going to make it out alive.
And as you can see behind us, the visual is pretty good. And the important thing is that the music and sound to this game is made by the Living Tombstone. So it gives even more horror to this like atmosphere.
Tell us in the comments if you know about Living Tombstone.
Yeah,
Because
we didn't.
But it's
we
very
know now.
It's very creepy
Yeah.
music. Yeah.
Yeah,
If
it's
you
good.
like horror games, it seems like
Yeah.
this was a good choice. So
Yeah.
we're not sure if it's a famous band or not. But.
Yeah.
So playing the game, in the beginning, you're kind of completely helpless. You have to go around the first environment, but pretty quickly you get a flashlight and a gun.
Yes.
Of course,
Yeah.
Michal has gotten that far in the game, you can see. You do have limited batteries, you have limited bullets, so you have to use it all sparingly, typical horror game mechanics. Where it gets
With your
interesting...
flashlight.
Where it gets interesting is when you pass into the other worlds, the other mental realms, and you actually start meeting, well, your patients, basically. The psychological embodiment of your patients, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, you have to play to
Well,
understand.
the whole game is in this strange way because you're gonna start with a town flooded with water, and there is this main building that will work as a hub where you will go each time you're gonna finish another world. You're gonna go back to this place, and with the new items you can explore more of this your home base basically, and you can even craft some items and take some pills. These are the RPG elements where you can actually improve your stats as well.
The interesting thing is each of the worlds that you go to is extremely different. You have different types of challenges, different types of, I would even say different types of horror in each one. One of them focuses more on jump scares. One of them focuses more on kind of an overall feeling of dread. And the whole time you get the creepy sensation that something is following you just out of the corner of your eye. And that's probably because there is something following you, but we're not going to give away too much.
But let's go to Should You Play It. This
Okay.
time nothing is going to show up because of the technical difficulties, so just imagine it there.
This is live TV, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching this later, no, we're not going to edit it. So before we answer the question, should you play it, you should know that this game is actually free on the Epic Games Store the week of March, what are we, March 16th now?
Middle of the March.
March 15th, March 16th, and for the whole week, if you go to the Epic Games
It's
Store
actually
and claim it-
March 17, by the way.
March
if you want to be
17th.
specific.
Let's be specific.
You were close.
Technical difficulties. I've got a good sense for dates. I'm at least 1 or 2 days off.
yeah,
Maybe I'm going
yeah.
a little bit crazy.
But the important to say is that we're reviewing all the free games from Epic.
That's right.
So that's why we're doing this as well.
Whether we're prepared to do it technically or not, we just charge right through and let you know if it's worth your time. So, Michal,
Yes.
is Insound Mind worth playing?
Okay.
You are a fan of horror games, so
yes, I like some horror games, and I think there's a pattern in where when in the horror game you are defenseless, it's one type of this game. But when you have a gun as well as your flashlight, it's usually better game itself. And in here, it's very valuable, as you said, different worlds. There are some crazy moments too that I think the creators are aware of, and they made a fun of it. Like there's this police tape that is beyond breakable,
and the character actually says, that's unbelievably strong.
Yeah. So you need specific tools that doesn't always make sense, like breaking things, like there's an iron lying on the ground, but you need this specific item to progress, and that's normal in these adventure games. That's why I said it's more of an adventure too. There is the shooting, but the shooting is less exciting, but it is not the main focus. I'm still glad it's there. So I'm gonna say yes, and it's not going to show up there, but
just nod your head a lot. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes, but mainly because it's free. If this is paid and if it costs a lot, I would really consider. I would say yes as free or really on the sale, because I appreciate what they done with the game. That I would like them to make more, but I think like even the game we recently reviewed, the Last from Beyond M edition, is a better horror game than this one.
Well, for me, I think it's important to say that I'm not a fan of horror games. The fans of this channel will know that, so that's what we bring in this channel. I have usually two very different perspectives. If you're not a fan of horror games, this is just not a game for you, because I did find it to be creepy.
Yeah.
I did find it to be scary, and I don't enjoy that kind of thing in games, and it was effective here, so I didn't enjoy it in this game. But that means it's probably a good horror game. The variety of environments I found to be very interesting. And even the story, you're not sure what's reality. The guy is himself a psychologist, but he's aware that he is going insane. This is kind of interesting. A few mechanical things were frustrating, like that you can't, it's difficult to switch between the flashlight and the gun, and you can't have both at the same time and things like this. But I think if you are at all interested in horror games, this is not hardcore, but it is interesting. It's an interesting entry for the genre. So since it's free, I'm also going to say yes, it's probably worth your time if it looks interesting to you. Yeah.
Okay, so at the beginning we actually said this game is mixed of full of genres, but it turns out that if you are a fan of horror games, then you will appreciate it.
It's trying to be a horror game, definitely.
It is a horror game.
Yeah. So there are other elements, but whether or not you are interested in horror games will determine whether or not you should spend a few hours on this. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's it. We're going to bring you more reviews if you're going to stay tuned. So consider subscribing if you are not. And Caleb, I have a mission for you now.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm going to take this gun and flashlight. Take it.
Thank you.
Okay. And I'm going to play this game as I played it. First, I'm going to take up the gun.
Okay. Gun.
Okay. You're my character, okay? Now I'm going to switch to the flashlight.
Okay.
Okay. And now going... I want flashlight and a gun.
Okay. I'm ready.
I see the gun, but no the flashlight.
Okay,
at the same time. At the same time.
I'm doing it at the same time.
Use your both hands.
Oh, you haven't noticed?
Oh, that's why in the game he can't use it. Now it makes sense.
Right.